Hello and welcome back. Making sure the mic's working. The mic's working. Hello and welcome back. We are back. I ran into some technical difficulties. I couldn't get Roll20 to load for a little bit, and it turned out I thought maybe it was I don't know. I was starting to think it was a Firefox issue or something like that. It was not. It was just I had loaded too many privacy protecting extensions, and some of those made Roll20 not work. So it's fine. We don't judge. Been waiting for a little while to get back to this thing. Been on the road a lot. There's been a lot of family travel, vacation, camping trips, things of that nature. But we're back. So let's get going on this. So I present to you over here the Mori Empire, a rich, homegrown sector in the Forge in which a great deal of adventures have happened. Unfortunately, we're nowhere near there. For all that we've been trying to get back there. We're all the way down here. Finally got somewhere into the out of the expanse and into the sort of the middle area. We're getting somewhat closer back to the Mori Empire, but we ain't there yet, kids, because we have run into a complexity. We ran into this thing. Because as you recall, let's get our little dice box up here so we can kind of see some things. You recall when we did our last jump, it did not go great. We got a weak hit with a undertake the expedition. We immediately ran into a Precursor Vault around a orbital one around a Jovian world, a large, elaborate site, a form of machine transforming, metallic, industrial, with many dispersed structures, and as we take stock of this situation, the power fails. So that's happening. And this is kind of how I envision this is this particular thing. We've got like lots of individual sort of structures spreading out away from the core. We're over like this gas giant with weird kind of columnar cloud structures down below, building up from the surface. Our approach to this thing kind of frames up the moon, but we've got lots of little, what's nominally part of this structure as these individual sort of free-flowing things that are nevertheless in complete lockstep alignment with the larger structure. So this is the thing that we really can't ignore because, again, power failed on the ship. I'm wondering how far the power fails. To what degree has the power failed on the ship? Because do we still have Zeb? I think let's take a look at the oracles and find out if we immediately lose access to Zeb because of the system being. I would say it is likely that Zeb is affected in some way, shape, or form. Are they affected? Yes. Are they completely taken offline? I think that's unlikely because we're not going to lose probably life support and things like, well, maybe we will. I would say that if this does happen, then we probably are in risk of losing like life support and stuff fairly quickly. So let's say it's unlikely that Zeb is completely taken offline. No, they're not completely taken offline. What about life support? Also unlikely? What do we got? We did lose life support. Okay, so we're not circulating air. We're working with canned air. We're working with an immediate timer on this thing. More importantly, air is not the biggest problem. Temperature control is. We're going to not be able to regulate temperature in the ship extremely quickly. We do have Zeb. Okay, cool. All right, so we know a few more things about this situation that's stacking up here, and more importantly, with the power out and life support down, critically, the only way to get a hold of Earl is by going and knocking on his quarters, on the door of his quarters, not hitting him on the intercom, which means somebody has to go down there and knock on the door. And the reason that matters is because Fidget is there, and there's no way this is going to be kept a secret if or kept private. Forget it's secret. There's no way it's going to be kept private if somebody has to go down there. Yeah. So we'll have Arnav go down because he was the one that was up on the bridge, kind of dealing with the jumps and everything. We'll have Arnav go down and like knock on, which is, why would you do that? Like, there's no reason why anybody would do that. And probably have to bang on the door repeatedly, and Fidget actually ends up waking up Earl and say, he's banging on the door. Arnav's banging on the door. Why would he? What? Zeb, what's going on? What? It's Zeb? What is wrong with it? What is wrong with the comms? I don't know. None of the lights will come on either. Son of a. Okay. Where's my pants? Where are my pants? What? And the bitch kind of grabs them from the floor on her side and holds them over. Thanks. So, did you see my shirt? And he's like, okay. He's kind of hopping over to the door. Waves his hand. Waves his hand again. Son of, yeah, I hear you. I'm shouting through the door like, I hear you. Just give me a second. Where's the manual? Okay, so I flip open the panel and I do the manual release and I kind of clunk and the door kind of unlocks enough so that you can like drag it. And at that point in time, it's essentially just rolling back and forth, which is fine. Not safe because it's not secured, but you pull it all the way the rest of the way and it kind of locks in place open. What the hell's wrong with the ship? What'd you do with my ship? I didn't do anything to your ship. Really, because when I went to sleep, there was power, and now there's no. Because you just come on. I didn't do this, okay? Your bad luck it permeates every circuitry board in this. Really, this is on me. Really cool. I gotta look and see if there's a move that Earl can do to kind of. Otherwise, I'll just throw it up to the Oracle to see whether or not Fidget just comes out. But I'd be curious to see if Earl can compel. Lie or swindle. All right, so Earl is gonna try to lure Arnav away from the thing and get him off to the bridge, just to get him away enough to let Fidget get off with her privacy intact. Okay, so that's all that is. When you try to persuade someone to make them an offer, lie or swindle, rolling plus shadow to see if I can kind of lure Arnav away. That's a weak hit. On a weak hit, they'll do what you want, but their agreement comes with a demand or complication. Envision their counteroffer. I mean, if I was the player, I'm going to kind of give up on this, but if I was the player, I got what I wanted. I can lure Arnav away without Fidget needing to be part of the scene. But he has a demand or a complication, and I kind of want that to be him asking for Fidget. But, okay, so what else could it be? What else? What other kind of demand or complication? Bugger. Okay, I gotta figure it out. Just so you guys know, because I edit these a little bit just so they don't take forever and you don't have to just stare at a blank screen while I'm thinking about this stuff. Time passes while I'm trying to figure this stuff out. Don't think that I'm just randomly popping off, what I think of as the ideal answer may not be the ideal answer for you in any case, but I'm just going to sit around and pop off the ideal answer with no effort whatsoever. I sit around and think about these things and stare at the ceiling for a while. It's okay. Like, what ends up being a 20-minute, 25-minute, 30-minute video could be an hour and a half of me doing stuff. I say that because social media is a lie, and you guys will see this stuff and think, well, mine doesn't come off nearly as smooth as his does. Yeah, it does. Probably, because I'm sitting around like, fuck, what does he want? And like he doesn't. So what I was rolling was that I'm protecting Fidget's. I'm doing this to preserve Fidget's desire for privacy, whatever that happens to be. And the hit that I got is that it adds a demand or a complication. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean Arnav's. It doesn't specifically say that. It just adds a complication to my life, right? Okay, and Fidget needs to get exactly what she wants out of her need for privacy. So let's just flip the script a little bit. So while we're trying to get there in Arnav, and it's like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's go on up to the bridge and let's figure out how we need to get. And right about then, Fidget just walks out of my room because the door is locked open, and she comes out and she's brushing her teeth. I don't know where she got the toothbrush. Did I have a spare? I don't think I knew I had a spare. It's not his, but it's not her. But she just. All right, let's go. Then she walks past us. So let Arnav think what he thinks what he like. This has always been going on. It's new. It's whatever. Those two don't necessarily get along. They certainly don't see eye to eye. They both have history with Lagrange. Fidget is establishing that there's a tie between her and Earl that Arnav has not thus far been aware of that complicates Earl's relationship with Arnav, and certainly complicates Earl's life somewhat because it adds another wrinkle to the whole relationship and stuff. So that's how that scene plays out. Hooray! Yeah, that's not Arnav just, and I just kind of like, yeah, let's go. All right, cool. Arnav's just left there like, What? And then they off. All right, so we're gonna head on up to the bridge. I'm looking down here. There's a lot of moves, and some of them have to do with exploration moves. Exploring a waypoint. You could do an entire expedition into this thing. Do I want to do that? I need to do something because I need to be able to get the power back to the ship, and something here has shut down the power to the ship. Under the oracles, we have a whole section. We have derelicts, of course, but this isn't really a derelict. We have an entire thing on precursor vaults. The scale, the form, the shape, the interior of the vault, all of this kind of stuff. And then themes that determine, all kinds of things having to do with the vault itself. So first look, features within, peril within, opportunities within. So basically we can undertake an expedition into here, and we let the Precursor Vault Oracle give us the overall material that we find. Okay, are we doing that? We kind of have to do something because we don't have any power to the ship. So, okay. All right, so I'm going to do... On the one hand, this is a very big thing because you're going into a Precursor Vault. We've never done that before, so you want to make it a big deal. On the other hand, I don't want to spend forever on this. So we're going to undertake an expedition to get in the Precursor Vault, but we're going to do this in a very specific way. So once we get up to the bridge, Earl's going to be like, "Hey, Zeb, are you there? Are you?" "Yeah, yes, Earl. I'm confined to localized control of just a few of the emergency systems on the ship at this time. I'm sorry I wasn't able to speak to you via the intercom. I think that system is... I wasn't able to reroute enough. It's fine. It's fine, Zeb. Do you have sensors? Do you have anything? Do you have even like passive sensors?" "I have some sensors, mostly passive." "Okay. All right. Listen, I need to figure out where... I'm assuming that thing out there is doing this to the ship, right? So let's see if we can figure out where I need to go to stop it or something. If there's anything we can do. And so what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to do one of my asset moves with Zeb. When you secure an advantage, so I'm trying to secure the advantage of figuring out, the advantage that we're trying to secure here is where the hell do we need to go? Roll plus the integrity of the ship, take +1 momentum if we get a hit. So the integrity of the ship currently at 5. I'm going to roll spirit just to simulate that, and we are going to secure an advantage. Hopefully secure an advantage. Let's find out if we did. That is a weak hit. Crap. But okay. We still get a +1 from Zeb, and to secure an advantage. How is that guy written up? On a weak hit, we pick one or the other. Take +2 momentum or +1 on your next move, not a progress move. I'm going to take the +2 momentum because I would really like to get my momentum back up. It's currently at a 2. So between the +2 from taking this from secure an advantage, as well as the +1 from early, or from Zeb's, from the asset that we have for Zeb, that gets us up to a +5. Nice jump. And we're able to get some kind of leverage in terms of knowing where we need to go here, but we're basically on free flight. So Zeb, see if you can get in closer just using the attitudinal jets. I know we don't have a lot of juice, just a little bit. Get us kind of moving the general direction, and we'll go get into suits. I think you both should stay here. And then there's just this explosion of it's not even on screen, right? It's just Earl saying, I turn into you see him on his face, like, I think you two should stay here. And then the explosion of protest from both Arnav and Fidget, and him just kind of like closing his eyes and shaking his head, because it's definitely not going to happen. And we don't even need to see them doing that. It's just this shot. So the very next shot is the airlock opening up, and the three of the, like, Earl's in the forefront with the two of them back behind. Heading out of the ship and doing a free float across over to the portion of the station where we're trying to get to figure out what's going here. So we're going to undertake an expedition. I'm not going to set this one up to be a super deep one. Obviously, this place is enormous, and if we were actually going to seriously delve into this Precursor Vault, this would be an undertaking of epic proportions. We are dealing with an external, I'm going to say almost dumb defense system that has simply decided any incoming ships need to be powerless, and we need to convince it otherwise. So that is all we're doing. We're not trying to get fancy. We're just trying to do that, and we are going to undertake an expedition to that purpose. So let's get a progress tracker up here. Still trying to get back to the Moor Empire. Pretty great. We're going to add one here. Investigate the periphery of the Precursor Vault in the Outlands. Vast Precursor Vault in the Outlands. And then we're going to make this one dangerous. It's obviously dangerous at least, but I don't want to spend like ages and ages on it. So we're going to set that one up as that. And let's see where that gets us. We're gonna get back over here to our moves, and we're gonna undertake the expedition to do this thing. When you trailblaze a route through perilous space or survey a mysterious site, give the expedition name and rank for each segment. Are we moving at speed? Are we trying to keep under the radar? Are we staying vigilant? I think we're initially going to stay vigilant, but once we get onto the station, we might be trying to move very quickly and quietly. Or very quietly at least. So we're rolling shadow, but initially we're going to start off with rolling wits. Okay. You'll notice I'm not bringing K on this thing because I'm not crazy. I'm not, after all the other stuff that's gone on here, I am not going to be bringing K onto a Precursor Vault just to see what happens. So we are not going to do that. We are going to move with wits, stay vigilant, and see where that gets us. And that is a strong hit. Love to see it. So, on a strong hit, we reach the waypoint, envision your location, mark progress according to the rank of the expedition. So let's say that we are entering the interior of the station, and the entering the interior of the station goes relatively quickly. We're going to go back over to the oracles. We're going down here to our precursor stuff, and Precursor Vault interior. The interior first look. Signs of invasive life forms. Ugh. Okay. Signs of invasive life forms. What kind of invasive life forms? Okay. So, signs of them. I think invasive though. So they're not precursor things. They're some other kind of thing. So I think what we're seeing here is some kind of... we've seen out in space, like sort of the idea of like sort of space squid, right? With the weird kind of trailing little feelers, that kind of thing, transparent but lit up. And we're seeing some of these floating as we approach in space. There's also some scoring on the hull, maybe some breaches here and there that the RNAV points out. Yeah, it looks like they got through the hull here at some point, but some of the defenses maybe got some of them. Oh, don't touch that. It's just floating. God, I don't like bugs. Not really bugs. Well, they look like bugs. So we've got to deal with this, potentially whether or not they're inside or not, remains to be seen. Certainly gives us some opportunities for weird shit that can pop up later. Fantastic. Can't wait for that. All right. So let's go back to our moves again. We've gotten inside to this machinery thing, and we're now going to be moving as carefully as we can, creeping along, keeping under the radar, and continuing into this thing and trying to get further in so we're not the closest we can get to where the source seems to be for whatever it is that's going on in here. So we're going to keep kind of moving in here and undertaking expedition. That is a weak hit, thankfully, thanks to that stupid 10. So we're going to, we mark progress, but it costs you. You can suffer costs in route, supply, or peril at the waypoint. Envision what you encounter. All right. I want to enjoy the flavor of this particular thing. So I'm going to use the peril because we don't get to see the peril chart off of Precursor Vaults very often. We don't get to see these kind of peril things. So we're going to go into the interior here, and we're going to see what our peril may be. Let's take a look at an interior feature first. Looted or empty containers. Cool. And then we're going to roll once more for the peril in this area. Hazardous path designed for traversal by other beings. Hazardous path designed for traversal by other beings. Crap. One of the things, if you'll recall, that I did a few quite a long while ago. I did a little video where you can kind of like brainstorm with like Chat GPT to kind of just brainstorm about stuff. And one of the things that it threw out there as an idea that I kind of liked was one of the reasons that the Precursor Vaults are sort of geared to these wisps and wraiths and that sort of thing is that they're who the Precursor Vault are. They're sort of like they're to a certain extent the Precursor Vaults are designed for them, but not really for them. But they're designed in such a way that the wraiths and wisps are sort of like the keys to the kingdom. So we get to an area where there's like a big vast blocked area type of thing where there's this big vast gap and there's no way across it, but there looks like there's some sort of security passage way of closing that or getting past that, but the interface for it is just absolutely not designed for people. But I know who it is designed for. And Arnav and Fidget are trying to figure out ways to like jury rig this thing. And I'm like, God. Zeb, can you read me? Zeb, are you there? Yes, Earl. I am. Great. Let me talk to Kay. I have to bring Kay because the only way to navigate this Precursor Vault, and probably most Precursor Vaults successfully, is with a Wraith or a Wisp or something with you to navigate these places that are designed for only them or somebody with them to pass. So I've got to involve Kay in this thing. I'm not happy about that. And we cut to, Kay kind of like doing his thing where he's in the spaceship. He's not really walking so much as floating, and he comes up to this sort of thing and he extends his hand and we see that pulse. It's not unlike when they extended their hand to the jump drive and it did that. But there's that kind of interaction, and suddenly this big vast gaping blackness that doesn't it's not a space and then there's more ship. There's just nothing. Like the ship ceases to exist. There's nothing there. And then Kay extends their energy into the field, and suddenly there's more station. The nothing is gone and there's something. So, okay. In fact, I think that happens and we all kind of like, I'm going to throw up. No, because it's such a weird sense of vertigo and unbelievable, like weird twisting of space that you get like, it's like all the motion sickness at once, kind of thing. So, right, that's what happens. And once we can like stand up without gagging again, we proceed. Kay, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to continue with us. It's all right, Earl. I want to get home as much as everybody. I want to get the babies home safe as soon as possible. Right. All right. Well, all right. Let's do this. Let's just keep moving along, and hopefully nothing important will notice that we're here. And I'm going to take a +1 on this one because now I have Kay with me, and Kay is a guide. Is Kay only a guide? Where's my connections? Kay, are you only a guide, Kay? Yes, you are. You are only a guide, which means I get a +2 on the roll, not a +1. That is excellent. I love that. So we're going to undertake the expedition, moving at under the radar with a +2 from Kay for the guide, and it's still only get a weak hit because fuck you. That's why. Yeah, I get the lowest possible roll I can. So even though I am adding a whopping 5 to the roll, I still only get a 6, but it still gets me a weak hit, and it gets me an extra +1 on the momentum, which is okay. Okay. All right. So a weak hit as above, but this progress costs you. Again, I'm going to lean into the peril at the waypoint thing because I want to see more of the ship. So as we're going through this thing, what are we? Let's get over to our oracles and see what we're doing here. Interior feature, more signs of invasive creatures. How the fuck did they get in here any further than the place where you needed to have a wisp with you to get in? I don't know, but that's great. Love that. Love that a lot. And what is our peril? Signs of a lurking foe, son of a... Okay. All right. Fine. I think we're going to do this in a blur. We are going to get ambush sort of thing, and we're going to do this as a battle move. I hate this. I hate this a whole lot. We are going to battle. When you fight a battle and it happens in a blur, envision your objective and roll. I want to survive it. with everyone intact. We were sneaking along using trickery to befuddle. Oh, I get to roll a different staff for any of this. That's cool. Fight at range using speed or movement. Fight depending on your courage, leadership, or companions. Roll plus heart. We do have a lot of companions. Using trickery to befuddle your. I don't feel like you can befuddle. Careful tactics. I'm gonna courage, leadership, and companions. Let's roll plus heart on this thing. Does anybody? Arnav is smuggling courier agent. He's a courier and intel, or a smuggler and an agent. Fidget is a technician and a crew member. I don't think they're going to give me pluses bonuses on this thing, but we are going to roll with heart on this and do our battle move. And this is all going to kind of happen in a blur. It's not a big, long, drawn-out fight. We're just going to do that with our heart and go for it. Okay. We got a weak hit. We could burn momentum for a strong hit because our roll was so weird. It's a 4 against a 2 and a 5. So when you fight on the weak hit, you achieve your objective, but not without cost. Pay the price. On the strong hit, you achieve your objective unconditionally. You and your allies who join the battle can take +2 momentum. Okay, so to get the strong hit, I'd have to burn momentum, which would get me down to a 2, and I get 2 momentum back, and that would get me up to a 4. Or I take the weak hit and pay the price, face the consequences of an earlier choice. Son of a bitch. See, I don't have they're not companions as such. I'm going to take, okay, so here's the thing. The battle move, a weak hit is pay the price. Pay the price indicates that you're facing the consequences of an earlier choice. My earlier choice was to bring K into this, so I'm facing the consequences of that. So I think what happens is we're seeing some more of these dead things, and it's like, oh, there's more of these like little squid or shrimp look, and then one of them leaps like out and lunges. And if you've ever seen like some of those videos of like these shrimp that like attack so quickly, one of them lunges out, but they don't come at me or Arnav or Fidget. They go straight for K, and they leap onto them and drive them to the ground. They're on the suit, and they're tearing at it like just in a frenzy. And we're trying to get it off and shoot the thing and all this other kind of stuff. And it all kind of happens to Fleur. We're just like trying to. One of us grabs it, the other one like you're yanking at the thing and like you shoot the damn thing. It's like, and Arnav comes up and just unloads a whole like freaking clip of energy clip thing into the side of the thing, and it finally does. And K is left with the suit badly damaged. There's like vapor and wisp coming up off of it. I'm like, K, are you okay? Yeah, I'm all right. I'm feeling a bit odd, but I'm okay. I can move. I'm all right. Okay. Let's get you up. And we stand up, and K is kind of there. I'm like, are you sure you're okay? Yes, I feel a bit oddly, but I think I'm fine. And right then, and all three of our suits give off a radiation warning where we're in a dangerous radiation area. And our badge starts to, like, we have like a thing which like the bars fill up from extra radiation, and the bars have filled out a couple and are showing that we're like, okay, right. We need to move. We got to move. We better move quick. Let's get going. Quick as we can. I think we're getting close. We should be getting close, and we should be getting close. We are going to mark progress. We're into the 6, and the indicator in some of the rules for this thing as we're working into the derelict the Precursor Vault is that as we're moving forward, this would be about the time if you were going to move from the inner part of the ship into the sanctum area of the Precursor Vault, and where things get weirder. Once you're at 6 in the progress tracker, this would be about where you would have that kind of stuff happen. Cool. So let's get weird. Let's get a little bit weird, see how things are going. So we're gonna move. We're gonna move again, and we are going to. Now that we know that there's creatures in here, we're gonna move with a special caution and care. I think we're gonna go back to wits on that, and for that we're gonna explore waypoint. We still have Kay helping us with the guide thing. We're not exploring waypoint. What am I doing? We're gonna undertake the expedition. We're not exploring this waypoint. Screw that. I don't need to explore. I need to move. We want to stay vigilant, but we still get the +2 from K, giving us the wits roll. Still with a weak hit. God, I cannot get a strong hit to save my ass. All right, cool. So that's a weak hit. on a weak hit as above, but the progress costs you, choose one, and we'll go from there. I don't know that I want to take we could take a suffer move though. We could take a suffer move because we could take a move from the radiation. We could do that. I'm going to ponder that. In the meantime, we're going to look back over here at the oracles and see where we're at. So under the sanctum, one of the things you can roll under sanctum is the, oh, I thought there was a table. I wasn't sure there was a table for entering the sanctum, like what the entering the sanctum looked like. Okay. Roll a result on the interior feature table. I don't think this is in the online version, so let's take a look at this. Oh. Well, the way it says it in here is your passage from the interior into the sanctum is triggered by rolling the result transition into the sanctum. I'm just doing it as a yeah. I'm just going to do it as progress through the vault, which is fine. So I don't need to actually do that. All right, that's fine. All right, so what is the? Let's look at the features here for the sanctum. We're getting into the weird part of the ship. Descriptor focus, super. Rich illusion, natural force. Okay. I'm gonna go with warped or misshapen spaces and payment of oh no. Oh boy. Okay. So two parts to this. We're gonna learn stuff. Okay. All right. So we have gotten in a little bit further. We've got in further. We're further into the system. We found an area where the power drain modules, the things that are pulling it, like whatever this thing is doing to the ship is happening from, or at least being controlled from roughly here. Okay. We are taking a hit to our health because of the radiation. And we're looking at all the readouts and everything like that and trying to make heads or tails of this thing and figuring out how to reroute this stuff and basically shut off the drain away from the ship. We have a massive power plant for this thing, so that if we can just make it stop draining power, we could be back in business. We find a diagram, sort of a digital active diagram of this massive location, right? This whole big thing. We're out here on like one of the outside things. Earl's original idea here was that this whole thing was happening as a latent defense system. You know, ship comes in, kill it. Just don't bother blowing it up, just suck the juice out of it. What we're seeing here is that the power is being pulled away to a purpose. It's being routed through this structure, through these various dispersed structures, and being routed to the central structure. Which, if this diagram is right, and the thing is, I don't understand, Earl can't possibly understand most of this, but he's seeing symbols and iconography and images that he feels as though he recognizes because of his experience that he has had recently. So it's showing the central structure, and it's showing a shape within that central structure, and it's showing the energy being brought in there and creating a structure or a binding or the energy lines are all kind of running around this central shape. And I kind of reach over and I grab Arnav and I pull him over and I said, what's that thing look like for you? Don't think about it. Just say what it is. What does that thing remind you of? Don't even think about it. One of those things that sent us out, one of those things from the other side of space. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. You think they got one of them here? I think they're pulling energy off of the star, off of this gas giant, the radiation coming off this gas giant. I think they, and every other damn thing that wanders in here in order to keep that thing locked up. You think we're going to be able to get the ship loose without letting that thing go? I think we have to. We got to try. I mean, how sure are you? What do you mean, how sure? I'm not positive we'll destroy the goddamn universe, but it's out there as an outside chance. Yeah. Hell of a question is that. What, do you want to go looking for anything else that'll help things along? I don't know. Maybe. I don't want to just start flipping switches. I don't think that's probably going to do us much good. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can, I tell you what, let's just look around here. Everything around here has to do with this power rerouting, right? So let's see what we can figure out. And I'm going to take so I had to take 2 +1 suffer moves. I'm taking a hit to health, and I'm taking a hit to spirit. Health is for the radiation, and spirit is for what the fuck is that thing trapped inside of the station. Shit. So that's what we're doing with that. And then we are going to explore the waypoint. We're going to explore right around here and see if we can find stuff that will figure out the workings of this thing such that we can proceed with a little bit more surety. All right, so we're going to explore the waypoint. We're technically diverting from the expedition to examine the notable location. Roll plus wits. I am taking a +1 from Fidget because she is a tech and a crew member, but she's mostly it's because she's a station tech kind of a thing. So she's a gearhead like me, and hopefully she can help me kind of sort this thing out. So we're gonna take that +1 and see what we get. That's another fucking weak hit. God damn, I cannot win for loot. I'm just rolling absolute garbage today. All right, cannot get a big fat dice roll. The numbers are fine, but all right, so on a weak hit, you uncover something interesting, but it's bound up in a peril or reveals an ominous aspect to the place. What a surprise! Envision what you encounter, take +1 momentum. Okay. My problem is, so we explored this thing, and we basically we think we have a pretty good sense of what this is going to do, but we also get a really clear sense of what could go wrong if we really cock things up. It's not a great situation. And +1 momentum is great, but what we're trying to do is complete this expedition, and we can't use momentum on that, so it doesn't matter what we do there. All we have is the progress, which is at an 8. We can conclude here, but it's not without risk, especially the way my dice tend to roll. One of the assets that I have is you can face danger to assemble or enhance a device for a powerful but limited roll. One time only, you or your ally can make a move aided by the device, taking an automatic strong hit. If you're in a fight, also mark progress. I don't know if that would work on a finish the expedition move. Probably. I don't know. I kind of feel like no. And there isn't a lot of extra information about that one, but I don't think that something like that would work on something like this. Let's just find out what happens. Oh, that's a strong hit. Oh, thank God, thank God, thank God. Okay, investigate the periphery of the vast precursor. So I get a strong hit on concluding, because Earl just basically, I think that we have to, fuck it, I'm doing it. All right, so finish an expedition. On a strong hit, you complete your survey, finish your reach your destination, mark a reward on your discovery's legacy track according to the expedition's rank. I get 2 ticks on the expedition's rank. Any allies who show this, oh my word. All right, so that's fine, whatever. I'm not so much worried about that. I'm an explorer. Explored away, I get +1 momentum on a hit. Oh, I didn't. When you finish an expedition and score a hit, mark an extra tick on your Discovery's Legacy track. So I get 3 ticks on the Legacy's track for discoveries. Mark, mark, mark. Ooh, that gets me 2 more XP. Oh, this was exciting. That's taught me something. I learned a thing. Oh my God, I've got so much XP I haven't spent. That's just annoying. I'm up to like 9 XP that I haven't spent on anything. I should probably do that. All right, so we shut off the thing, and Zeb reports that we've got juice back on the ship. Awesome. We are going to retreat the fuck out of here, and while we're going, we're going to move along at speed, and I am going to do a couple of recovery rolls. Once we get back to the ship, I'm going to do some recovery rolls, get out of the suits, and we're going to take stock of how badly we were affected by everything. As soon as we're going to get we'll get K kind of fixed up as quickly as we can, and we're going to do a couple of recovery rolls here. I'm going to endure harm, face blah blah blah, and we're going to roll this thing to see whether or not I'm going to roll my health, which is a 4. Don't have any modifiers for that, I don't think. Lose momentum in exchange for +1 health. Do I have? No, I got a workshop. I didn't get anything else for that. All right, so yeah, I'll lose 1 momentum to get my health back up to 5. That seems like a good idea. And during the stress of this thing, we are also going to endure stress. And I'm going to reduce that with my spirit. And that's a strong hit straight up. On the strong hit, I can shake it off. Once we get free of this thing and know that we didn't screw anything up, deep breaths. And we are bouncing back from that. Get K suited up here, and we will take one long, terrified look at this thing and get the hell out of here. Zeb, have you got a route planned? Yes, Earl. I am more than ready to depart. I think we're all with you on that one. I was going to say that we want it even more than they do, but that's probably not true. And this comes up again. Here we go. We're going to undertake an expedition and head home. Again, we're going to move with staying vigilant, and we're going to do a roll. Everybody's there on the bridge, so I'm taking at least a +2 because of our guide, K, and trying to get home. And that is a perfect roll with a 10 over a 7 and a 5 for a strong hit. We are undertaking our expectation, and we are doing a great big old fat jump that gets us another notch of the way home. We are 7 of 10 on that, and we have and after a couple of hours while we're patching up K, talking with everybody, trying not to talk about that thing that I didn't think any of them were in this side. Like, well, maybe they're kind of trapped on some other part of the reality, or I don't know how this stuff works. We are going to come out of our Eidolon jump at another anchorage. We're in the Outlands now, and we see a starship. Okay, so series of events. We come out of the jump. We see several unknown ships, and they are immediately powering up. And because I had something in mind, I rolled get back to the Moor Empire, which is the conclusion of our roll. I have 7 progress to get back to Moor Empire, and I get a miss with a 9 and an 8 against my 7 progress because the dice say fuck you. So but I have a move that I do think can be used in this kind of situation, and I am going to use that now, and that is Fugitive, which is you are hunted by a power or authority. When you make a move, you may rely on your resourcefulness to improve the result to a strong hit, which is what I'm going to do. And if I do that, I'm going to move my counter up here. And this is interesting because the wording is still, in fact, I can edit this one, I think. Let me put it in builder mode because they've changed the way this works from the original draft of it. So when you get to your 4th mark, whoever's chasing you, in this case it's the Meridian Station people and everything like that, which is also theoretically the people who are working for the Nephilim type creatures, catch up to you. But I'm only at a +2. I can get to a +3 on the 4th mark. So what this means is my preparation and my planning and sort of what I had in mind for what I was planning on doing and everything like that gives me moments where I can bypass the thing. So I am turning this into a strong hit. And as like these guys are there and the weapons, it's like Zeb is shouting something about the weapons powering up and Arnav is shouting stuff about the shields. Earl basically dives across the control panel. It's like, wait. And I grab the microphone. It's like, hailing, unknown ships. This is the Zebulon Harding. This is the Zebulon Harding captain by Earl Baxter, Ironsworn. I am Earl Baxter, Ironsworn. Please hail. And Arnav's like, look at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, just, and after about 10 seconds, 10 of the longest seconds of my life, I get a crackle of comms coming online, and the face comes up on the image comms. It's like, Ironsworn Baxter. I didn't think we'd ever be seeing you again. Oh yeah. Why are you coming in from the edge of space? And why do I think you were looking for us? We found the Ironsworn again. And that's where we're going to stop. We're going to stop as soon as we talk to Lang here. We're going to stop at the next session, or start the next session talking to Lang and the rest of the Ironsworn, because Earl's got a favor to ask, because things are going to get complicated and he needs a few allies. Okay, now I'm 11 XP that I haven't spent. We're going to have to do some of the stuff with that. Okay, so concluded our expedition. Meridian and the forces behind Meridian are moving ever closer. But we have discovered or run straight into, on the edges of the Outlands, the head of the wandering, let's say somewhat feral Ironsworn that are wandering the lesser known space lanes of the Moor Empire. And that is where we are going to start things off. We're going to drop ourselves off at the Perchance Belt, which is where we ran into them last time. And that's where things are going to start up next time. Guys, thanks very much. Really appreciate it. Hopefully, I didn't teach anybody any bad habits about the thing. I have there's times where it feels like some of the moves can affect a conclusion of a move, the conclude an expedition. And there's other moves that I feel like can, and some that can't. Just kind of go with my gut. So don't anybody yell at me for doing the rules wrong, because whatever. I'm having a good time. Everyone, thanks very much, and I will talk to you soon. I hope you enjoy this one. This is fun. This is fun. We got to poke around in Precursor Vault. We haven't been able to do that before. Cool stuff. I'll talk to you all soon.